It is an unsettled, messy morning in terms of active weather. We've already had significant thunderstorms right through the morning commute in major cities like Toronto and in Hamilton. We're still seeing some of those little cells right through the St. Catharines area and then up towards Owen Sound as well, right along the shores of Lake Huron and Georgian Bay. Plus, we've got a messy start to the day in Northwest Ontario. And all of that is happening as much of the country is dealing with extreme heat, the eastern half of the country anyways. So we've got these cells that are tracking out of the Val-d'Or region this morning. Looks like a little cell just south of Ottawa. As we zoom in, you can see these tiny little thunderstorms now mainly sitting over Lake Ontario, but messy there. The water is going to be incredibly choppy this morning. Some of those cells still lingering in the Niagara region and then up towards Owen Sound as well, just kind of departing out of the worst of that. But if you're east of Georgian Bay, if you're in Bracebridge, Gravenhurst, anywhere in the Muskoka region, you're about to get hammered with some thunderstorms rolling through. So Environment Canada still has those special weather statements in effect for Owen Sound. You're kind of out of the worst of it now. I imagine we'll see some sort of advisory issued for areas east of Georgian Bay in the next wee bit here. And then Northwest Ontario as well, dealing with severe thunderstorms of their own. So widespread watches in effect in the pink. This area of yellow this morning is the severe thunderstorm warning, and this is why we've got this band of significant rainfall rolling through. There's likely hail embedded in here as well, and then incredibly strong winds, downdrafts from thunderstorms rolling through. We also have just west of Thunder Bay, another area of relatively lighter rainfall, but still heavy in its own right as you're getting into those oranges. It's just lighter than this specific band here. Now, that same area later on today, we'll see another round of severe thunderstorms, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. In terms of excessive heat, Ontario, Quebec, New Brunswick, and new today, Nova Scotia has been added to this. For the humidex values, you'll be into the low 40s today across much of the eastern half of Ontario and Quebec. Into Atlantic Canada, the humidity is not quite as extreme as it will be tomorrow, but today we're seeing those humidex values in the mid-30s, particularly New Brunswick. Now, that moisture intensifies in Atlantic Canada for the next 24 hours. By the time we hit Thursday morning, we start to see drier air influx into Ontario and Quebec, and that will reduce the humidity. By Friday morning, there is a significant improvement in much of Ontario and Quebec. I'd say Toronto down towards Windsor will still be muggy Friday morning, and into New Brunswick, PEI, and much of northern Nova Scotia, you'll start to see a drop in the humidity by Friday. The south will stay muggy to end that work week. Now, in terms of the storms that are in Northwest Ontario, here's where they're at this morning. We'll see them gradually slide eastward as the day progresses, but by the supper hour, we're back into this line of storms. And this one here, there could be possible rotation with it. So there is a tornado risk with this line of storms west of Thunder Bay by the supper hour. We'll also have a few pop-up thunderstorms along the shores of Lake Huron and through central Quebec as well, and some of those could become warned. These storms will track eastward, again, just adding to that heat and humidity through the forecast as we head into the afternoon. Stay with us. Coming up, the CEO of Boeing will be in the hot seat today testifying. We'll have fire up. They've got so much moisture, available to them that they'll rain steadily. Now we're going to see that heat continue. This is our upper air pattern, our jet stream well to the north. The heat dome persists, it intensifies, and really kind of settles its way in, as heat domes do. What makes it a heat dome is the fact that it's the stagnant high pressure that is trapping air in a certain place. And so what we see is that hot air rises, and as it descends, there's compressional warming. So it further warms, and it goes back through this cycle, and this cyclical weather pattern holds steady for the next several days. We will start to see some changes as we head into Thursday. Now, in terms of the humidity, that is going to spread its way eastward as the day progresses. So yesterday, Ontario and Quebec in the south particular saw that high intense humidity. Today, it spreads farther north and eastward, this time including New Brunswick, areas of Prince Edward Island, and PEI. As we go into Thursday, we really start to see drier air push its way in. And so while temperatures will still be seasonally warm as we go into Thursday and Friday, the biggest change will be the drop in humidity. Many cities will still be above average, just not quite as stifling hot. The oppressive heat coming to an end as we head into at minimum Thursday and for most Friday. Now today, this is what it will feel like across much of Ontario and Quebec. The biggest change, the most notable change, is areas like Chibougamau, Quebec. for example, feeling like 38. Yesterday, the humidex was 28. Quebec City as well, entering into the low 40s with the humidity. So keep that in mind. That's obviously prompted the excessive heat warnings in Ontario and Quebec. Brand new today, we're seeing those extended into southern Nova Scotia. And we'll talk about the humidex values in Atlantic Canada in the next half hour. Now, conversely, while the excessive heat is dominating eastern half of Canada, the west, under the influence of this upper trough, and there are frost advisories in southern Alberta this morning through central communities as well, stretching up toward Edmonton. It's 0 degrees to kick off the day. Compare that to the 26 right now in the city of Toronto. There are the highs later on this afternoon. Coming up in the next half hour, we're going to track through the thunderstorms that are rolling through parts of Ontario and Quebec and who's at risk for tornado later on today. That's in the next half hour. For now, here's what you can expect this afternoon.